Yo, what's up? Welcome back to my channel once again. Today I'll be checking out this video of how big is the universe. So without further ado, let's go.
This is Earth. You live here on this planet somewhere, and everything that you've ever known is located right here. But just how small exactly is Earth when compared to the scale of the entire universe? Let's start by zooming out to where we can see our nearest cosmic neighbor, the Moon. You may think that the Moon is very close to Earth since it dominates our night skies, but in reality the Moon isn't this close to our planet, it's actually about this far away.
I always thought it's this way. This is the idea, even in school. This is the way it's depicted. This is the kind of image most people have in mind when they think of the Earth and the Moon. But actually, this is very eye-opening.
The Moon. You may think that the Moon is very close to Earth since it dominates our night skies, but in reality the Moon isn't this close to our planet, it's actually about this far away. 384,400 kilometers away from you right now on average. You could fit 30 entire Earths in between this distance, and if you somehow were able to drive a car at a constant 100 kilometers per hour speed, it would take you about 160 days to drive the entire distance. Despite this incredible distance, however, 12 humans have actually set foot here, representing the furthest away that any individual human has ever been away from the Earth, and one of humanity's greatest achievements. This is what the Earth would look like from there if you were standing there with them.
By looking, if from the Moon the Earth looks this way, you would not imagine that 30 Earths could fit between this distance right here and the Earth. You would think it would be nearer, just as we see the Moon from Earth. You don't think it's that far. Maybe you think maybe a few Earths, maybe 5 can fit in between, but 30 is, I think it's not as you may think at first.
Wanted to communicate with somebody back at home, it would take a message about 2.5 seconds to travel between you and them, since that's how fast the speed of light can travel at. This is a photo that was taken on Mars, and that tiny dot that you see there is Earth as seen from the Martian surface. On average, Mars is an incredible 225 million kilometers away from Earth, but that distance can be as high as 401 million kilometers.
I think when we start measuring distance in a million kilometers, it gets out of imagination. It's a very big distance that it's very hard to put into imagination, but I think the graphics are helping a lot.
That means that whenever humanity finally gets around to landing a human on the planet, that person will be 986 times further away from Earth than the astronauts who landed on the Moon were. In addition, the time delay for sending a message from Mars back to Earth isn't just 2.5 seconds, it's actually more like 20 minutes each direction, which would render instant communication in the event of an emergency.
I think this is where the distance in millions of kilometers comes in, because to the Moon it was 1 second, but now to Mars it's 20 minutes. That's quite far.
Impossible. When we zoom out even further away, we can find the Voyager 1 space probe, which is the furthest away man-made object from Earth. It is currently located 138 AUs from the Earth. AU meaning astronomical unit, which is the distance between the Earth and the Sun, which means that Voyager 1 is 138 times further away from us than the Sun is. At some point on its long voyage, Voyager 1 turned its camera around and took this photograph. It may not look like much at first, but in my opinion, this is the greatest single photograph ever taken in all of human history. This tiny, pale blue dot is Earth, and I don't think that anybody has ever said something as amazing about this as Carl Sagan when he said, "If you look at it, you see a dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you ever heard of. Every human being who ever..."
When it's put like that, it's give you some kind of, you change the way you see things. Because when he says everyone you have ever heard of is in that dot, I've never actually thought of the Earth like that. But actually it's true what he says. Everyone who has ever existed everyone written about in history books, everyone who has ever existed is just on Earth. We don't know of anywhere else that people have existed, and even those who have gone out of the Earth, the farthest they have gone is the moon. So that is, it gives you another perspective.
Lived out their lives, the aggregate of all our joys and sufferings, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and every forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilizations, every king and every peasant, every young couple in love, every hopeful child, every mother and every father, every inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there.
Wow.
On a motive.
Wow. That gives you a lot to think about. Because and then just I think space is, as the title said, this is very big. It's more than you can think, because just imagine this photo taken. There's nothing else that is in that picture. It's just Earth. The rest of the space right here is part of the universe. So you can imagine how big the universe actually is if we can take such a picture where the Earth is seen as a dot, and the other stars and planets are too far away to be even in that picture. So you can imagine, and this is just one planet, and of course the universe is full of billions and trillions of planets. So it gives you this kind of it gives you another angle of looking at things, because if we are just here, when you are on Earth, you might think that everything, the universe is revolving around the Earth, but when given from this angle, it gives you another way to think. But let's continue.
Dust suspended in a sunbeam. Voyager 1 is currently traveling at 17 kilometers every single second, but even at that speed, it won't break out of the reach of our solar system for another 30,000 years. Once we go beyond the solar system, we arrive in our interstellar neighborhood. Here we shift to the light year unit of measurement, which is the distance that light travels in a full Earth year, or about 9.461 trillion kilometers. The star Proxima Centauri here is the closest other star to us other than our sun, but it's still 4.24 light years.
Wow. If this is the closest star, that is a 9.4 by 4.2. It's even unimaginable. It's too far. If that is the nearest star, and when you look up in the sky there, it's full of stars. So it means some of them are very far away. If this is the nearest, it means it's dumbfounding.
Away from us. To put that into perspective, if it was heading in the right direction, it would still take Voyager 1 over 70,000 years to reach it. In other words, if you drove your car at 100 kilometers an hour like in our previous example to the moon, it would take over 6 times longer than the entire age of the universe is just to finally get there, and it wouldn't even exist still when you arrived. When we zoom out even further, we can see the entire Milky Way galaxy, inside of which Earth is located right here. This yellow dot is the furthest extent of humanity's radio broadcasts throughout history, which means that any possible aliens who live outside of this range are totally unaware of humanity's presence. It's complete silence outside of this yellow dot as far as we are currently aware, but the entire galaxy spans over 100,000 light years from end to end. There are over 100 billion stars and over 100 billion planets inside of our galaxy. But you have never seen the full glory of the galaxy at night, because 99% of the stars that you can see with the naked eye are limited to this small, tiny region.
No. Hold on a little bit. I thought we saw all the stars in our galaxy. I thought when you look up in the sky, this is what you are seeing. Those stars are spread out all over the galaxy. But let me just rewind a little bit.
But you have never seen the full glory of the galaxy at night, because 99% of the stars that you can see with the naked eye are limited to this small, tiny region
Wow, that is this is why. But I think that these graphics are helping to put into perspective how small the Earth actually is. Because if all the stars we see are in that square, then it means there are very many stars, more than the ones we see in the sky. It means there are so many, and then this is just in our galaxy. So it means there are more stars than we can count. And of course, most of these stars are bigger than our sun. So, as I said, this is so mind-boggling to imagine how space and the universe, how large it is.
Here. But even this massive galaxy is nothing compared to the rest of what's out there. Zooming out even further, and we arrive at the local group of galaxies, a collection of 50...
Even that zooming out, he's just going too fast, but even that zooming out is, in my brain, I'm having a lag of changing of going with the flow, because just check out this, how he zooms out as if it's nothing, and it's actually it's a large distance.
But even this massive galaxy is nothing compared to the rest of what's out there. Zooming out even further, and we arrive at the local group of galaxies, a collection of 54 different galaxies that is about 10 million light years across. But zooming out even further, and we can see the Virgo supercluster, of which the local group here is just a tiny segment of. There are at least 100 other groups of galaxies just like our own local group inside of here, and the distance from one side to the other is a mind-numbing 110 million light years.
Okay, so hold on a moment. So let's go back.
Groups of galaxies just like our own local group inside of here, and the distance from one side to the other is a mind-numbing 110.
So 110 million light years, and the closest star to our own solar system was it was four light years away, and so this thing is 110 million light years. So not even thousands, a million light. As I said, it gets to a point now. I'm even my mind is blown away, and then it says each dot is one galaxy. So all these small white things are galaxy, like our own Milky Way. All these dots. It's mind-boggling.
10 million light years. But even the massive Virgo supercluster is nothing but a quiet and tiny lobe of the Great Laniakea supercluster, an enormous structure that is home to our galaxy as well as 100,000...
If he zooms out one more time, I'm going to call it bullshit. But actually, I'm not that ignorant. I know this is... I know these are true things, and he's actually doing a very good job with the graphics, because it makes you understand, even though I can't. At some point you get lost, but it gives you that, it opens up your mind about what is the size, especially the size, not even because the distance, I'm lost, but the size is giving me. I'm getting the, how can I put it? The idea, not even the idea. I'm getting to understand the size comparison.
Other galaxies. The distance from one side to the other is 520 million light years, but from even there we can zoom out all the way to the entire observable universe and see that even the titanic Laniakea supercluster is just a tiny and insignificant part of everything. This is the observable universe, and it contains everything that we know of.
Observable universe. And the observable universe. So this is just what we can see with our technology, our telescopes, our whatever. This is everything that we can be able to study. So it means we are like, maybe how can I put it? It's like when you have a torch, a flashlight that is not, the battery is low, and you try to point it to look at something in the dark, and the light can only get to a certain point. and beyond that now it's darkness. You cannot tell what is beyond that. So I think this is what this is the currently this is what we have. We are looking out there, but we are limited to what we can see. So I don't know what is beyond the observable universe. That is something I'd like to know. Is there an end? If we go in all directions, is there an end to this, or is it just endless, or is it infinite? You can go just to infinity.
It is home to at least 2 trillion different and individual galaxies, which together contain more stars than there are grains of sand on the entire Earth. The distance from Earth to any side of the observable universe is 46.5 billion light years, which means that the entire width is 93 billion light years across. What's perhaps even more interesting, however, is what actually lies beyond the observable universe.
Yeah, that's something I'd like to know.
Keep in mind that the observable universe is all that we can currently see, and it's entirely possible that the rest of the universe outside of it is vastly larger and more fantastic than we can possibly ever.
I would also reach that conclusion. If we are keeping zooming out from our Earth to our galaxy, to our local cluster of galaxies, to our local supercluster, if we are zooming in like that, and everything, when we zoom out like that, the next thing is many times larger than the previous one. So that means the observable universe, if we just zoom out to the next bigger thing, maybe the next class, let's say the next, let me just invent this, the next large cluster of observable universes, it means it will be so many times bigger than the observable universe. But I would also be curious about what is beyond that.
Imagine. We simply don't know what else is out there because the light from these incredibly distant places has not yet had enough time in the universe's history to reach us yet back on Earth. And the light from some places may never reach us at all. Because some parts of space very far away from Earth are expanding away from us faster than the speed of light, that means that the light from these places will never, in an infinite amount of time, reach Earth. Meaning that even if humanity is eternal and exists forever, there will still be an unknown number of places in the universe that we will never know about or ever see. So, it is very likely that as unbelievably enormous as it seems, the observable universe is just a tiny slice of what we can currently see of the entire universe. According to the theory of cosmic inflation that was proposed by Dr. Alan Guth, if it is assumed that cosmic inflation began at 10 to the negative 37th of a second after the Big Bang, and with the assumption that the size of the universe before inflation began was equal to its age times the speed of light, then this would seem to suggest that at the present day, the entire universe is 150 sextillion times
I was lost since he started talking about that theory. That's where he lost me. But anyway, up to this point, I don't think I can even continue. I think it's already too exhausting to even the local cluster itself. I think it's too exhausting to even get that thing. And as he said, even getting to the nearest star is a problem. So even all these theories, I wouldn't. Okay, they are good in that subject I'm talking about, but I don't think we'd need to go that far. I think we need to exhaust, first of all, because if I understand that even here on Earth, even under the sea, we have not explored even half of it. We don't even know, we have not traced everything there. So watching some of these videos, they can make you have they can open your eye in the way you observe things, because even on Earth, you might think every day you wake up, you go to your work or something, and you go about your day and you might think even when you're planning your day, you are having your goals to achieve. you might be thinking that the world, this is where we are, this is everything that is happening. But looking at that, it means we are actually human beings. It means we are actually so insignificant to the entire universe, even just our galaxy itself. It means if it has more than 100 billion stars like our sun, it means now the planets are even more than that. So it means that our planet is so insignificant. It's so like if our entire solar system just disappeared, or the sun exploded or something, or the earth just stopped existing, it means that it not even affect even 0.0001 of anything in the universe, in the entire universe. So I think it makes that our human selfishness to be quite diminished, and for us to think things in a very different way. But anyway, that has given me quite a lot to think about. But just go in the comment section and comment about what you think about this topic. And if you haven't subscribed, kindly do, because most people who check out my videos are not subscribed. So kindly do, so that you can get to see my other video when I post it. And go to the comment section and give me your suggestions, your anything that comes to your mind. Just put it in the comments. I'll be checking them out. So that's it for today. See you next time. I'm out. Peace.